Connect.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Is it on now? It seems to be on.
Yes, it should be on now.
Thank you. Thank you. So should I start?
Yeah, I know anyway you do Radha Madhav first, right? So probably by the time people join.
I say,
Thank you, Prabhu. I'll go on mute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu's Danvat. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for allowing to serve. All of you, we are serving together. Sunday feast. So let me just chant the Jai Radha Madhava, and then Pranam Mantra, and then we will talk today the 5 potent forms of devotional service. So, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhan, Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Swayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajagacharya Sudas Divine Grace Vaichanarvin Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anand Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaul Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadhati Swapadantika. Vande Ham Sri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padanu Sahagana Shri Lalita Shri Vishakhavitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopis Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Siddhi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhyavacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you again. So today, before we start to talk about the 5 potent forms of devotional service, I wanted to read from Antya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 5, text 132. And this is the Swarup Damodar, who is the personal associates of Lord Chaitanya. He's talking. What he's saying is Chaitanya re bhakta ganer nitya kar sang tabeta janibe siddhanta samudra tarang. Swarup Damodar continued. Associate regularly with the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for then only will you understand the waves of the ocean of devotional service. This is a very important point here. Swarup Damodar is making. Let's read Srila Prabhupada purport. It is clearly to be understood in this connection that the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's way of devotional service are eternal associates of the Supreme Person of Godhead and perfect knowers of the Absolute Truth. One immediately follow the principle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by associating with his devotees. Lusty desires for material enjoyment will vanish from one's heart. Then one will be able to understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam and the purpose of listening to it. Otherwise, such understanding is impossible. So, what is here is that while Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, as we know, Lord Chaitanya is none other than Radha Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Hiyanya. So while Lord Chaitanya was Jagannath Puri, many scholars and many poets, they used to come and they bring their poetries or they bring what they have written to have Lord Chaitanya read it. But it was becoming so difficult that many people were coming, but many people had not exactly. Sometimes they have not understood this siddhanta of the devotional service. Purpose of devotional service, siddhanta, end of the devotional service, conclusion of the devotional service. Sometimes, and it was becoming too much. So then Lord Chaitanya had his personal secretary Swarup Damodar. So anybody has to bring anything, they would have to go through Swarup Damodar, and so through the Swarup Damodar, then he would plus read it, he would have them recite it, and then if his conclusion is right, then he would allow to have Lord Chaitanya read it. So here in this case, there was a poet who had written the poems about Lord Jagannath. So he wanted to have Lord Chaitanya read it, Lord Chaitanya hear it. And Swarup Damodar kind of not interested, but there is Bhagavan Acharya. And Bhagavan Acharya was related. So Bhagavan Acharya kept telling Swarup Damodar, please read it. So this poet, Swarup Damodar, not to be upset, this poet, he allowed. And as the other devotees were hearing him, they were kind of said, sadhu means they said, oh, very good, very good. And that doesn't mean those devotees were not the follower, but they had not sometimes understood the deep meaning of the Siddhanta or the conclusion of devotional service. But Swarup Damodar did not accept that poetry written by this poet, because the poet had not understood the Siddhanta given by Lord Chaitanya. He had not understood the conclusion of devotional service which is given by Lord Chaitanya. And that's why, if you understand, Srila Prabhupada's first book he had come out were the teachings of Lord Chaitanya when he came in this country. He published that. But that was the most important, because teachings of Lord Chaitanya gives the Siddhanta, conclusion of the devotional service. See? So that's why Swarup Damodar did not accept it. And then Swarup Damodar is saying in the previous verse 131, he says, Jaha Bhagavata Pade Vaishnavir Sthane Ekanta Ashray Kare Chaitanya Chare. If you want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, he said, you must approach a self-realized Vaishnava and hear from him. You can do this when you have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See? So this was in the Srimad Bhagavatam, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam is in the disciplic succession. Is the most important. So he is saying that we have to associate with the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, hear from them to Srimad Bhagavatam. You see? So here all the followers, all the eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya, they were eternal. They were coming before Lord Chaitanya appeared. They all appeared here to take part in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and they are eternal associates. They are exalted personalities. You see, and of course, Lord Chaitanya didn't write any books. He gave the Siksastakam, right? 8 verses, which we recite all the time. Sadhimi Cheto Darpan Marjan. But he spoke to his associates and they wrote it. Just for example of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was Mayavadi. He was the incarnation of Brihaspati. He was staunch Mayavadi. But Lord Chaitanya, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, by discussing the scripture, Lord Chaitanya, by discussing scripture and giving the Siddhanta, he became the staunch devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Also in Varanasi, all the sannyasis who were Mayavadi, under the guidance of Prakasana and Saraswati, and they also came in touch with Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya changed their heart. See, so Lord Chaitanya, because he gave the deepest conclusion in the heart of his associates. For example, Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami, all 6 Goswami, but particularly Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami broadcast the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya, within the heart of Rupa Goswami, he invested everything within the heart of Rupa Goswami. Lord Chaitanya invested all the revealed scriptures. And that's why Rupa Goswami wrote Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, many other books. Same as the Sanatana Goswami and other Goswamis. Because Lord Chaitanya, we say, Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Kadamayan Dadhati Sapadantika. That's why we are follow Rupa Goswamis. We are called Rupanugas. And so Lord Chaitanya taught him Krishna, he taught him the Krishna Tattva, He also taught, he also taught Bhakti Tattva and he taught Rasa Tattva. Tattva means the truth, means the Krishna, devotional service, and the Rasa. This is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadasa Kaviraj Goswami writes that these are the tattvas which is Lord Chaitanya taught to Rupa Goswami. Not just that, but he also taught him that the truth means the Krishna and the Jiva, relation between Krishna and Jiva, relation between Jiva and the material world, and relation between Krishna and the material world. See, he sold he invested all his everything. Also, his heart invested in the heart of Prabhu Goswami to bring this truth. See. Now, Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't need to learn from anyone. But at the same time, with Ramananda Roy, when Lord Chaitanya went to South India, and in South India, when the sannyasi went, and he met Ramananda Roy, and he's having conversation with Ramananda Roy. And Ramananda Roy is bringing out from Ramananda Roy all the truth, all the fundamental teachings. Not just that, but exalted Rasa Tattva is bringing out from the Ramananda Roy. Why? To glorify his devotee. Lord Chaitanya want to glorify his devotee, Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy said that I'm just an instrument. I am just a string instrument. You are playing the instrument, and I'm just speaking by your mercy. That's what Ramananda used to say. So similarly, in the Rupa Goswami, he did the same thing. He infused his Bhakti Tattva, infused to the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami. See? Now someone says, how can we understand? Lord Chaitanya is not here right now. 6 Goswamis are not here either. But we can understand through the books of Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada is coming in the disciplic succession and he's teaching exactly, he's saying exactly what the previous Acharya is saying. So by reading the books of Srila Prabhupada, in the association of devotees, then we'll be able to attain the perfection of our lives. So the prominent main point is the foundation of all these 5 bhaktis, 5 forms of devotional service. The foundation of all this is the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha. So because and the Lord Chaitanya, his main contribution also was this philosophy of Achintya Vedata Vedata, simultaneously one and different. So, Krishna, the devotional service, Krishna, devotee, devotional service. So, means qualitatively we are one with Krishna, but quantitatively we are not. So Lord Chaitanya's teaching was to refute the Mayavadis, because Mayavadis think Lord is when he comes, he doesn't have a spiritual form, he's accepting material form, or he has no form. And the void is void is believing in zero, no spirits. So that was the refuting Lord Chaitanya's philosophy, refuting the Mayavadis and voidis. That's why we chant in the Pranam Mantra of Srila Prabhupada. What we chant? Adi Namo Vishnu Padana Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauranga Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Pashyata Desita Shunyavadi and Pashyata Nirvishesha Vadi Shunyavadi. That's what Lord Chaitanya is teaching. So Lord Chaitanya, he spoke about the regulative principles of devotional service. He spoke about sadhana bhakti. Then he spoke about the bhava bhakti. Sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and which bringing to the prema bhakti. Krishna prema. So he spoke about the 64 limbs of devotional service. And when he spoke up to 35, then he mentioned the five main. He mentioned the five are the most important limbs of the devotional service. And what are those five? Five? All those five are the, first is the sadhu sangha, nam kirtan, bhagavat shravana, mathuravas, and Sri Murtire Shraddhaye Sevana. Sadhu Sangha means association of devotees. Nama Kirtan means congregational chanting holy name of Krishna. Bhagavat Shravana means hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees and is regularly hearing. Mathuravas, residing in the holy place like Mathura, or residing in a place where Vaishnavas are congregating. And the last one is Srimurti Seva, worshipping the deity of the Lord with the faith. And in all of these, the main fundamental principle is the association of devotees, as we mentioned before. And besides that, there are 2 points he mentioned as we perform the devotional service. Sadhana bhakti is performed by we perform devotional service regularly by using our senses, our mind. But in bhava bhakti, beside using the senses and the mind, senses, our physical body, it is the heart. heart is in the bhava, in prema with the Lord. And we come to that, then there are 2 main points Lord Chaitanya mentioned. And it is according to Padma Purana. He mentioned that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. These are the 2 main points he mentioned. So let's first talk about the association. In the association of devotees it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna prema janmata hai punaha mukhya anga. The root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna is awakened, he said, even though one has awakened the Krishna prema, but still he is in that devotees, he always want to have association of devotees. And Srila Prabhupada says that unless one is associated with devotees, one's devotional service does not mature and become distinct from the material activities. And we see in the example of Dhruva Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj. They came in the association with Narad Muni. And Narad Muni bore the seed in their heart, and this seed was fructified into the plant, devotional creeper. So association is the most important. But also in the association also we have to understand that associate with the devotees who has understood the mood, who has understood the conclusion of the devotional service, who has understood Siddhanta of the devotional service. Also, it is mentioned that if If we associate with devotees, we share our moods, and then we will be able to advance in the spiritual life quickly. Devotees should associate with those who are of the similar inclination, who are peaceful, and who are spiritually advanced. They can guide us during the period of our disappointment by giving us solace and reminding us of our good fortune of Krishna's love for us. If we associate if we don't associate with devotees, the whomever we associate with, that's what we become. Just as a crystal reflects whatever color is placed next to it, we are influenced by our association. So this association is the foundation of this principle. Now, the second is the Nama Kirtan. Nama Kirtan is also important that we chant holy name in the company of devotees, in association of devotees. Nam is pure. But if we hear the Nam from the persons who are not the disciplic section, then it is become like a milk touched by the serpent. See? And Nam is so powerful. We know that. We know from the glories of the holy name, from the example of Ajamil in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because we know it is written in, as far as Nam is concerned, it is written in the Skanda Purana that one may give 10 million cows in 10 million cows in charity at solar eclipse. One may live in Prayag at the confluence of 3 rivers and take a bath in the Ganga for one kalpa, or one may perform 10,000 jagyas and give gold as much as the Sumeru mountain. But all of this cannot be compared even the one of the 100th parts of the benefit by chanting the Lord Krishna's name. So Krishna's name is powerful, but the point is that we chant in association devotees, and the name is also given to us in the disciplic succession by the pure devotee of the Lord. So this is also very important. What does the Nam do? Chanting of the holy name delivers from sinful act. One can deliver from birth, death, old age, and disease. One can connect it to Krishna. Material desires decreases. Heart is purified. All unearthers are going down. Attachment to Krishna increases. Miseries are going down. Attachment to devotees increases. Purification of heart increases. These are the benefits. This is all the benefits devotee is receiving by chanting the holy name of the Lord. And we also know that Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. Chanting the holy name purely without offenses will reveal the Rup. Lord will reveal his Rupa, his form. Nam will reveal his form. And then also Nam will reveal his pastimes, Lila. And the Nam will reveal also the qualities and then Leelas. Krishna's qualities and then the Leela, Krishna Leela. See. So Nam is the most important. But the main point is that in the association of devotees, coming in disciplic succession. See. And we know why we are chanting the holy name. We are chanting holy name to connect with Krishna, develop our connection with Krishna. And the connection with Krishna is we know the 9 processes. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Vandam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. But out of these the Shravanam, hearing, And Kirtanam, chanting, is the most important. And particularly in this situation, in the virus situation, we cannot go to temples sometimes because temples are closed some places. We cannot we cannot make the garlands or devotional service, perform in the temple in the association of devotees. But what we have, holy name is always with us. Or when we become old, we are not able to do all the devotional service, but we can chant holy name, isn't it? So that's why the Nama Sankirtan, the second form, second limb of the devotional service is most important. Nama. See? Then, and also we know that Nama, even we chanted, Nama is so powerful that even is chanted in Namabha stage, still it has effect. The example is the Ajamil. Ajamil was calling out to Narayan, but he was not calling out to Lord Narayan, he was calling out to his son Narayan. But still, Lord sent Vishnu Dutas, even though he had done most sinful activities. But because he had chanted calling out to Narayan, Namabha stage. So Vishnu Duta came and Vishnu Duta protected him from Yamadutas. So that is the Namabha stage, the chanting of the holy name is powerful. There are three stages, we know, offensive stage, Namabha stage, and pure chanting. See. Here Rupa Goswami says, here Rupa Goswami recited the following verse of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that holy name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. The holy name Lord Krishna is the best medicine for our material disease. Bhausadi. Bhausadi nivritta tarse rupagiyamana. Bhausadi kshotra manobhina. Glorification of Supreme Personality of Godhead and hearing the descriptions of Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth. So this is and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he chants, Nama Pina Kichu Nahi Ara, Chauda Bhavan. There is nothing but the holy name within the all 14 words. So this chanting of the holy name, this is the second one, is the most important. Another sloka about the chanting. You say, Madhuram Madhure Bhyopi, Mangale Bhyopi Mangalam, Pavanam Pavane Bhyopi, Hare Nama Eva Kevam. For sweet things, it's the sweetest to you, will taste any time. Of things that bring good fortune is the perfect paradigm. Of things that purify, it purifies most powerfully. The holy name of Hari is surely all that. And we know Hare Nam Eva Kevalam. Kalo Nasteva Nasteva Gatra. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param. Right? These are the different slokas we know from the scripture how the holy name is powerful. And of course, Nam Namakari Bhagavadan is a Sarva Shakti. Lord has invested all his energy in the holy name. Holy name is none different than Krishna himself. So this is the second limb of devotional service. Third one is Bhagavad Shravana. We know this Lord Chaitanya accepted Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam is none other than Krishna. But we have to hear. Now, before I go to before I go to the Bhagavad Savana, I want to mention one thing about one pastime in the holy name, how the holy name is important to hear, and also in the association. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the example is given. One example is given of the Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, when he was going Varanasi, or from Varanasi to Jagannath Puri, he was going to meet Lord Chaitanya. And with him, there was a devotee called Ramdas. Ramdas was very meek and humble, always chanted always chanted the name of Lord Ram. And he was serving Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami was feeling a little bit shameful that here is person, Ramadas, he's chanting the holy name of Lord constantly, he's meek and humble, and I'm taking service from him. So Raghunath Das Goswami considered Ramdas to be like an exalted personality. So Raghunath Bhatt Goswami. So Raghunath Bhatt Goswami and this Ramdas came to Jagannath Puri to meet Lord Chaitanya. When they meet, then Lord Chaitanya hugged Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, but Lord Chaitanya didn't even look at Ramdas. Now it was kind of a little bit awkward, because when the two people are coming to see you and you just give the attention to only one person and he doesn't even get attention, don't even look at that person. That was the situation. So Raghunath Bhatt Goswami was kind of little bit surprised that how is it that Lord Chaitanya is not even doing that, not looking at him. So after some time, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami went to Lord Chaitanya and asked him why. So then Lord Chaitanya said that yes, Ramadas is chanting the holy name of the Lord, he's calling out to Lord Ram, but his heart, his desire, he's not a devotee of Lord Ram. Devotee is always devotee of the Lord. He doesn't become Lord. So Lord Chaitanya said, this Ramdas, he wants to become Lord Ram. So this is the way you can see that the mood of the devotee. And it happens sometimes. So it is important that this is most important to chant the holy name in the association and hear from the exalted devotees in the disciplic succession. Then Bhagavad Sravana. Bhagavad Sravana here we mentioned in the Swarup Damodar is saying here that if you want to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, you must approach a self-realized Vaishnava and hear from him. You can do this when you have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada is the Bhakti Vedanta. He just not gave bhakti. He didn't just forecast bhakti, but he also gave the philosophy, Vedanta. That's why Srila Prabhupada's name is Bhakti Vedanta Swami. See, he imbibed the Siddhanta or the conclusion of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Prabhupada imbibed in his books by the purports. See? So it is important that we in the association of devotees, we hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Because there are so many saptas, Srimad Bhagavatam saptas are going on everywhere sometimes. And sometimes it is, saptas are just, just for this sometimes, reciter to get the name, fame, adoration. We're also there sometimes. See. So Saptas goes on, but we have to be careful where we go, and we hear every day Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Here it says, Bhagavatam itself states, simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Sunvatam Sakatha Krishna, Punya Savana Kirtanam. So simply by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one gets attachment to the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna. And as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of material disease disappear. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is most important to hear in the association with. He says that Srimad Bhagavatam also tells us, whatever occupation we perform, whatever spiritual activities we do, if in the end it does not awaken within us a deep attraction to hear about, to chant about, to serve, and to love God, then we have missed the point. We have wasted our time. Dharmam svanusistam pumsam vishvakshena katha sunya no not padayed yadi ratim sram evahi keva. But how this happens? In the association of devotees hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the self-realized. And we have Srila Prabhupada to hear. So this is the third limb. The fourth limb is the Mathuravas. Mathuravas is staying in the holy place is important. But physically staying, then the most important is the consciousness. Where is your consciousness? That is most important. See, Prabhupada, in the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada adds that if we are unable to reside in Mathura physically, we should reside there in our minds. Residing Vrindavan includes remembering of Krishna, remember Krishna's pastimes, chanting the holy name, associating with devotees, discussing Krishna Katha. This is all. This is where these things happening. That is same as the association with the Dham. Sometimes we go to the Dhama and we think that everybody in the Dhama is the pure devotees of the Lord. Dhamavasi but it is not like that. That doesn't we commit offenses at the feet of the Dhamvasis or the people who are staying in there. We don't want to commit offense. We respect them. But there are many kinds of people in the Dhammas. People have come with their own motives sometimes in the Dham. Sometimes there are people who are Mayavadis in the Dham, impersonalists in the Dham. They are there, but we have to be very careful. We don't commit offense at the feet of these Vaishnavas, because that will be committing offenses to the Dham. But we respect them from the distance. So the Dhamma is important, but Srila Prabhupada has brought, Lord Chaitanya said, he said that wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Srila Advaita Acharya used to say to Lord Chaitanya, wherever you are, that is Dhamma. So he said, wherever there is a devotees, wherever there is a temple, wherever there is a recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam is going on, wherever there is association of devotees, that all is Dham, association. See, of course, the Dham is most potent, and Srila Prabhupada recommended us to go to charge our battery for the preaching. We visit Holy Dham, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, Dwarka Puri, like that. We visit different dhams. It's important. Dham has power. Dust of the lotus, dust from the dham, dust from Vrindavan, touching the dust of the feet, dust from Vrindavan is most powerful, because Krishna and Balram and the cowherd boys have walked there bare feet. So it is important. But we have to be discriminatingly, we have to be discriminate, not committing offenses at the Vaishnavas. But they have to discrimination. Otherwise, if we don't do that, then what happens that we are confused and we go. Now, sometimes there are devotees who are followers of Lord Chaitanya. They are also there. You see, but we have to keep the mood of Srila Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada's mood is. So we have to keep that mood of Srila Prabhupada in front of us. See, because they might have different mood, and that's why sometimes we confuse. So we have to be careful. And the last one is he said a sadhu sangha should be of right kind, means they should be in the mood of through the mood taught by Srila Prabhupada. And the last one is the worshipping the deity with faith. This is also important, because worshipping Murti, the deity is none other than Krishna. That is the first thing we have to understand. And if his deity worship is in the disciplic succession, thought is given by authorized devotees. That is most important, because there are so many temples, thousands of temples, right? And different sampradayas have a different way sometimes worshiping, but it's not important. Which sampradaya, what they worship, that is not the important. We don't want to commit offense. See, different sampradaya have different ways to worshiping deities, and we respect. We don't commit offenses. See, but sometimes some temples who are where pujaris have, sometimes they are hired for some purposes, of course, to maintain, and then sometimes they don't differentiate. Sometimes the deity is none other than Krishna. It happens sometimes. See, so we have to be careful, respect them. We go for darshan, but the worship which is given by Srila Prabhupada, we follow that to achieve the goal. And again, stressing the point that we don't commit offenses. Other sampradayas, they are bona fide sampradayas. They are worshipping the deities and respect the obeisances. But we have to understand what is the mood of Srila Prabhupada. So these are the 5 main angas of the devotional service. Now, Lord Chaitanya, but out of all these 5, the main potent forms of the 5, the foundation is the sadhu sangha. If the association is proper, then other 4 and 60 will take care, it says. Now Lord Chaitanya, there are 4 sampradayas, right? Authorized sampradaya. Sri Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, and Kumar Sampradaya. Right? And Lord Chaitanya is so exemplary. The Lord Chaitanya took the two principles from each sampradaya. Any kind of, we can say the fifth sampradaya, but of course he followed the Madhava Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya. And he took the three principles from each sampradaya. Listen to this. From the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya, he took two principles. What is that? One is the Vaishnava Seva, serving the devotees. And second he took is the principle of Suddha Bhakti, pure devotion, without no karma, no jnana. He took these two principles from the Ramanuja, from the Sri Sampradaya. From the Madhava Sampradaya, what are the two principles he took? Deity worship, number one. And second is a refutation of the Mayavad philosophy. Refute them. Krishna, deity is none other than Krishna. Rather Krishna. Krishna has a form. His form is Sachidananda. Transcendental, full of knowledge, full of bliss. So this is the two principles he took from the Madhava Sampradaya. Then Rudra Sampradaya, which is Vallabhacharya, he took the principle of the spontaneous love of Lord in the mood of devotees of Vrindavan. And second, he took the point is a complete shelter of Krishna, depending on Krishna. And we know in the Vallabhacharya, Rudra Sampradaya, they worship Bal Gopal. See. But they have love. They have love for the Bal Gopal to worship. They depend on Krishna. Complete shelter of Krishna. They take complete shelter of Krishna. And they have spontaneous love for Krishna. So he took these 2 points from the Rudra Sampradaya, Vallabhacharya. And from Kumar Sampradaya, which is Nimbakacharya, he took the 2 points. One is, one must take exclusive shelter of the Srimati Radharani. And the second is the loving Krishna in the mood of gopis. So you can see out of all 4 sampradaya, Lord Chaitanya took all the sar, conclusion of all sampradayas, and he put together. And Srila Prabhupada is coming in the line of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, and Srila Prabhupada also gave us the same. See. So Lord Chaitanya's teaching, that's why Lord Chaitanya's teaching is inclusive of all these 4 sampradayas. He gave everything. And that's why Srila Prabhupada, translated the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and his first book he came out was the teachings of Lord Chaitanya for his devotees. So these are the 5 angas. What are the 5 angas? First is the Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravana, Mathuravas, and Srimurtir Shraddhaya Sevan. Association of devotees, chanting the holy name in congregation, reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam daily. Mathurava, staying in the holy dham, means staying wherever there is devotees association, wherever there is a shravan, chanting is going on, wherever there is Krishna Katha is going on, temple, this all the considered to be the Mathuravas. And the last one is the worshipping the deity. It's with the faith. Okay. So I think it's 12:25. Thank you, Prabhus. If there is any question, any comments, anything to add, subtract, please. Thank you again for allowing me to serve all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking through this wonderful topic of 5 important limbs that we got to follow. I have one question, Prabhu. So you said the first association of devotees is the most important. If we have that, everything else will be covered, right?
That is the foundation, yes.
So we got to invest a lot of energy and then the time to identify, or at least to find who is the pure devotee with whom we got to associate. Otherwise, if we make a wrong step, literally all 5 that we want to really follow will go in wrong direction. So what is the maybe some simple ways we can say, okay, these are the everybody is a devotee, but with whom I need to work under guidance, and how to identify a pure devotee to associate with.
Well, Srila Prabhupada has formed a society, right? And in the society, we know that there are many pure devotees of many exalted personalities are there. They are there, and we see, we can examine their behavior, their sadhana, and these are some of the points we can see. And of course, everybody is not pure, but we have the Srila Prabhupada is the pure. We know that. So we are taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada also, because when we take the association of exalted personalities in society, that means we are taking the association, we are taking the shelter of Prabhupada, provided that exalted personality is following strictly mood of Srila Prabhupada. We know Srila Prabhupada is our Shiksha Guru for everybody. He is a Shiksha spiritual master Guru for everybody, for whole society, isn't it? So he is always there. But we physically we need the association of the devotees. Then if we see that those devotees have the mood of the Srila Prabhupada, that is the most important. Mood of Srila Prabhupada, because Srila Prabhupada is pure and he will be always pure. He is always there. You see. So if you see in that devotees, we associate with it. And beside the point is that we try to train ourselves to see not the negative side of the devotees. See, we try to see the positive points in the devotees. That is also most important when we finding, because tendency is there to find the negative side of the devotees. But if we see the positive side of the devotees, then we will find devotees who are exalted. See? So I hope that helps you something. I hope that answer helps you.
So 2 points I take is definitely, whoever is following Prabhupada, we may not see everything 100%, but at least take the positives from that person and look him as a pure devotee and, try to embrace certain things.
Yes, not pure devotee. I wouldn't say pure devotee, but yeah, they are following it, and I'm in the line, I'm in the right path, right? If I'm following it, I'm in the right path, and I'm going to reach to Prabhupada.
Yeah, thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
When I reach to Prabhupada, means I'm going to reach to Krishna, because Prabhupada is going to introduce me to Krishna.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Any other question?
Nothing coming from Facebook world. If anybody here have a question, please do unmute yourself, and you can make a comment or a question. Please do so. Okay, Prabhuji, I think we are done. Thank you once again for coming almost every other weeks and giving us the knowledge and sharing the philosophy. We'll look forward to see you more with other wonderful topics.
Thank you for allowing me to serve all of you.
Hari Bol.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.